What is up, my friends? You are all very welcome along to our fan reaction here on Anfield Agenda after Liverpool have beaten Fulham by 2-1 to put 1 foot into the League Cup semi-final. Yes, there's still a second leg to go with Craven Cottage, but at least we're going to go there with a goal in the bank, or a 1-goal lead in the bank. So, as I say, this is the fan reaction show. It is over to you guys to let us know your thoughts on the game. I've just uploaded and recorded the player ratings and the match reaction video, so I'd love to know your thoughts on them when you get a chance. But this is your show. Let us know what you want to get off your chest. Let us know who you think played well. And of course, we're going to be asking you guys for the man of the match vote as well. I'm going to put the poll up right now, so bear with me while I get the options in. Let me know in the chat with some shouts of who you'd like to see in the man of the match poll. Obviously, there's a couple of contenders in there straight away. Right, let me just get the poll up. Man of the match vote. So Sky went with Curtis Jones, so we've got to give him an option. Connor Bradley was immense, so he's got to have an option. Other shouts for man of the match. So obviously we've got in Jota's a decent shout. See if there's any other one. Bradley and Jones are gimmies. They're definitely in it. I'm just looking for some other options. Right, I'm going to go for these two. I'm going to go for the two I think I've seen the most, so bear with me. And who was the other one I think I've seen the most in there? I'm going to put this one in because you guys have lashed in the love in the chat. So there you go. Poll is up. I've thrown in Darwin because there was loads of people saying Darwin, and I'm here for it. That's all I'm going to say to you. I'm here for it. So yeah, let's show the love. But for me, it comes down to one or two people. It's either Mr. Curtis Jones or Mr. Connor Bradley. But the options are Bradley, Jones, Jota, Darwin. They're the four options in the man of the match poll. And yeah, have at it. It's up to you guys to have your say. So look, 2 assists for Núñez tonight. Sometimes I learn a lot in the match reactions, because sometimes I don't see the assists. I don't even think I talked about them in my player ratings and match reaction video, because I don't have time to process before I'm back in here. And when I look up, I see the goal, I'm immediately going to the chat, we're celebrating and we're talking, and I don't really get to look back over the replays yet and see who set them up. So genuinely, I'm being honest, to hear that it was 2 assists for Darwin tonight is a pleasant surprise for me, because I've got to be honest, I missed one of them. With the assist, I mean. What I will say is, and I hope nobody goes in on him for the chance he missed, because there's nothing else he could have done about it. He did everything right. Leno just made a really good save. It was a wonderful ball in from Bradley, and Darwin did what you want him to do. Run across the 6-yard box, get the touch, and it was just a miraculous save from Leno that stopped them from scoring. So I think he did everything right in that situation, and I thought he had a good impact, as did Gakpo, coming off the bench. Bradley was brilliant. He was so good, said Rachel. Canade, Gomez did well. So the centre-back situation tonight. People, I don't know how to think about the centre-back performances tonight, because second half a lot better, a lot more like ourselves. But there was some lackadaisical moments in that first half that I felt that there were some moments Canade and Verge were a little bit, I'm going to say lackadaisical, because it's just like they weren't switched on. But when we came to life, they looked like different people again. And I love this habit Canade has of breaking lines. It's almost Joel Matip-esque, if you want to call it that. So yeah, happy. Look, I'm loving to see so many people giving credit in the chat. I think the substitutions were right tonight for Jurgen. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I think taking off Gravenberch and Elliott was probably the right call. Certainly I liked the two we brought on. It was a real attacking intent from Jurgen. And I love the fact that we had so many attacking options at the bench at the end of that game. Curtis Jones' performance deserved the goal. And look, people say he might have got a little bit lucky. Yeah, he got lucky, but he took the shot. And if he didn't take the shot, he wouldn't have got the deflection. So fair play to Jones on that. But I have a genuine question, right? Are we, or have I just totally pulled this at me backside? I feel like we're one of the teams that gets the most shots blocked of any team. And I'm very confused by it all, because we certainly aren't afraid to pull the trigger, but so many blocks of our strikes, and We were unlucky as well on occasions tonight. There was one for Gravenberch, he pulled just wide of the post when he did nearly everything right. Diogo Jota as well had one, you probably remember this, where he almost ran across the edge of the 18-yard box and then his strike was blocked by Anthony Robinson. But we found the way through and we got the job done, and I'm just happy and relieved about that, because whatever we say about this group of boys and whoever we like or dislike or criticise or whatever, they have balls. They have something about them to just dig it out, to just find a way. And tonight was another one of those where it wasn't always pretty, but when the referee blew the final whistle, we won the game. And there's a lot to like about that. Thoughts on the penalty incident as well, folks. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. I thought it was a stonewall penalty, but I have to admit, initially, before I'd seen a replay, I did think it had hit his head and then onto his hand. And if that had happened, it wouldn't, that the rule is that's not a penalty. But when I seen the replay, I don't think he actually headed the ball. I felt it brushed off his hair as it was hitting his hand. And because of that, I felt it was a penalty. But it wasn't given. There was no VAR. And you know what? Apart from that incident, I actually enjoyed there was no VAR. The game felt better, normal, quicker. And I think the linesmen got most of the calls right on the offsides and stuff. And I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed how the game flowed. Still to play for, but I think we'll get the job done in 2 weeks. Ref's a disgrace, said CD Sava. Clear pen, said Anthony. With VAR, we would have had a pen. I agree with that. With VAR, we probably would. That's the irony of what I'm saying, right? Because everything else I enjoyed. But look, there's certain referees I just get nervous about whenever they're near a Liverpool game. Coote, Tierney, Atwell. Whenever I see them near a Liverpool game, I'm not full of confidence. But we got it done. It didn't feel like Verge was himself tonight, and that could be a carry-on from when he was ill. Maybe he was struggling a bit to get over the line, or to get back to himself. But look, hey, job done. Wow, William. Oh, that's such a lovely super chat, mate. Thank you. $50. You're extremely generous, my man. So, Craig, I wish I could make the Boston show. Unfortunately, it doesn't work logistically coming up from DC. Hope to see you next time you're stateside. Been a fan since you were under 30k subscribers. Wish nothing but the best for you and the crew. Thank you so much, William, mate. Hopefully we will get to meet someday, dude. I'm hoping, I know it's not your neck of the woods either, but I'm hoping to be over in Vegas in October. But thank you so much, William. It means a lot to me, mate, and to everyone on the team that you're showing us that support. And I wish you could make the Boston show as well, my man. But maybe someday we'll get to have a conversation and shake hands. 60% of our first team injured and we're still getting wins. Yeah, look, any team is going to suffer with no Mohamed Salah, no Trent Alexander-Arnold, and no Wataru Endo. But credit to the boys for getting the job done. I thought some of those players took their chances. Bradley, and look, you don't want to go over the top, right, on Bradley. And I'm certainly biased because he's from Ireland. But he looked good. And to carry on from, like, he's not playing against farmers out there. He was playing against Arsenal and tonight against Fulham. And playing against somebody in Anthony Robinson that is really, really difficult to get a grip of because he is an engine for days and energy levels galore. But Bradley matched them and defensively was really solid and offensively was producing the crosses and getting into the right areas. If this young man can continue on this trajectory and keep fit, he will get opportunities and I think he'll continue to take them. It's very promising and it's lovely to see because there's nothing better than academy product coming through and saving you a fortune. And I've always bigged up this kid and I think he's the real deal. But a lot of football still to be played, but he's done himself no harm and that's a good thing. Really liked the consistent play of Canade today, said Ato Mandras. Yeah, look, there's a lot of great stuff from Ibu. I love any one-on-one that Ibu has, whether he's tracking back running or whether he just does it all the time, finds a way, wins those duels, and lots of good recovery again tonight from Canada. The only thing that I kind of want to nitpick about is Sometimes I feel when Virgil van Dijk gets the ball and he's playing those beautiful, and they are beautiful diagonal passes, I think it could be done a bit quicker at times. I'd like to see Virg maybe just try and move the ball through the lines occasionally rather than going long. Maybe, again, it's under instruction, and I'm sure it probably is. But yes, those passes are lovely, and yes, they're very well struck by Virg. But sometimes just get the ball into midfield, move it through the lines, and move it a bit quicker. I almost feel like Virg tries to play chess out there, moving people around occasionally, and I feel like it slows us down a bit. But maybe it's to stop us being loose in possession, turning over, and being countered, because we are vulnerable in that sense as well. He plays for Northern Ireland and hopefully go on to get 100 plus caps for us if he stays fit. Oh, he's a wonderful player. I've watched him and admired him playing with Northern Ireland as well quite a bit, mate. And the only thing that stopped him was that injury in pre-season that I think we would have seen more of him by now. You know, he started off pre-season really well, got that injury, and it took him a while to get back to fitness. But he's right there now, and he's probably Jurgen Klopp's first option if Trent's not available at right back. Maybe with Gomez, but yeah, it's great. I'm so happy for him. Bradley pocketed Willian, said big man. No Robertson, Trent, Matip, Chimikas, Boychechis, Thiago, Soboslai, Endo, Mo. With a full squad, we are stacked. Couldn't have put it any better. Kieran, mate, could not have put it any better. And that is a lot of people out, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out. And we still, as you said, we still even looked at the bench, and the bench looked strong. Are you Republic or Northern Ireland? So I'm from the Republic, mate. I'm from Dublin, basically. I live in Wexford now. Jones' injury, I don't think it's nothing to worry about, Oren. You could see the signal that Jones gave this to the bench, which meant it was just an impact. So I'm not saying he might not have a dead leg tomorrow, or there might not be a bruise there. But I don't think it's anything we need to be concerned about, because he has 11 days now for that to rest up and heal, and I'm sure we'll get ice on it, and he'll get a massage and all the things that he needs to do to help him recover. But yeah, I was actually happy when he did this, because we all know what it's like to get a dead leg. Mike said Darwin and Gakpo changed the game for us. Both of them are dangerous off the bench. Yeah, and it's great for them to come off the bench. Mark said he sent me a couple of stats. Right, you did indeed. So Liverpool have had 30 goal involvements by substitutes in all competitions this season, 15 goals and 15 assists, 12 more than any other Premier League club. 7 of these have been from Darwin Núñez. 3 goals, 4 assists, the most by a player for a Premier League club. What an impact, and thank you for that, Mark. Second one, 7 tonight against Fulham. Liverpool, the 7th time Liverpool have won a match despite conceding the first goal in all competitions this season, the most of any side in England's top 4 tiers. 2 stats for you, love that, thank you, mate, they're brilliant, really appreciate those, Mark. So yeah, 2 lovely stats there from Mark. 30 goal involvement from substitutes, which is testament to squad depth, and as Mark said, 7th time we've come from behind to win a game this season, which you'd rather we didn't have to come from behind, but it also speaks to the balls, I don't know what else to say, from the lads to just keep going, and fair play. It's a lovely trait to have, but you wish you didn't have to do it. What are your thoughts on Darwin's miss? It was a good save. That's on. I'm not trying to cover for the kid. I think he did everything right. And it was just one of those, Leno, trailing leg, made a great save. He couldn't have done any more. He ran across the front of the 6-yard box, made the connection, got a good connection on it. 99 times out of 100, that probably ends up in the net. But I'm not going to knock him for it, because he did everything right. Rachel Todd gifted a membership. Thank you, Rachel. That's really kind of you. Who's going to win the Ballon d'Or this year? Conor Bradley, obviously. I don't know, mate. It's still a bit of a ways to go before we start talking about that. Darwin's header and his volley were both solid, to be fair. Yes, the header was good because he had to guide it and put power on it, and he forced Leno into the save. Look, I think the lads definitely made an impact coming off the bench. I want to talk about Diogo Jota for a minute as well, if I can, because I think Diogo Jota was masterful in his movements tonight and unlucky not to find himself on the score sheet. Diaz, what do we think about Diaz on the left with Mo not being here? Do you think that maybe he should be on the right so that Darwin can play on the left, or even Gakpo on the left? I just think we're missing a chance here to test out Diaz on that right hand side. What else we got in the chat? We need McAllister to move McAllister forward. He's wearing number 10 for a reason, eagerly waiting for Thiago, Dominic and McAllister in midfield. There's definitely a lot to be said. Look, two things about McAllister. One, credit to him for doing what the manager asks and playing in the role and trying to do it as best as he can. Because it's not the role he probably envisioned himself playing in when he was coming to the club. So you give him full credit for that. But I can't deny that he is better moving forward than he is playing with his back to goal. And he isn't a defensive midfielder. So I agree with the chat there who said we need to move McAllister forward. I agree with that. But at the moment, with no Endo, no Trent tonight, and of course no Bajcetic or Thiago, Klopp just had to find a way. Diaz is much better on the right, said John Power. Darwin left, Diaz right, said Steve. Diaz should play on the right, said Padraig Quinn. It just feels like a great chance with Mo's away. So, you know, that's Mo's position. When Mo's there, that's his position. But Mo's away for a while, and there's a chance to just change up the way we attack a bit and go a bit more direct around the outside at times with Lucho. But look, Klopp made the changes tonight, and again, to give the manager and the coaches their fair dues, those changes changed the game and won the game. So you got to give credit there as well. Opinion on Van Dijk's yellow card. So remind me again, did he get the yellow card for standing on Jimenez's foot, or was the yellow card before that? Because I haven't been able to process everything from the game yet. And I know that he had a couple of fouls after the yellow card. I'm just trying to remember the timing of it all from a time frame. The hand in the face. I don't remember it. I'm sorry for having a memory like a goldfish, but I don't remember the incident. I'm going to have to watch it back. Honestly, I don't remember it. I think I looked up and seen him getting booked because I was probably in the chat at that point. Gravenberch playing on roller skates. I think Gravenberch did a lot of good things, but he is a bit loose occasionally with the ball. But it seems to me that's just his style of the way he moves around the pitch. Oh, Pereira faked it. Look, I'm going to take your word for it because I remember Pereira rolling around the ground, but I can't say I remember the incident, so I'm going to have to just hold my hands up and say I'm going to have to watch it back. It's a shame we don't see the Reds for 11 days. Yeah, but also, Lee, it is a shame. And look, we're fans. We want to see the Reds as often as we can. But it does give the lads a bit of a chance to reset. I mean, it counts down the days till we get some lads back from injuries as well. And also, it eats into a good bit of the time that Mohamed and Waturo are away at their respective competitions. So there are some upsides to this 11-day break for the club. But yeah, for us fans, we want games as often as we can, right? Any info about Szoboszlai? Yes, he should be back for the next game, mate. I think that was his last game that he's going to miss tonight. It wasn't ever a long-term thing. The belief was that it would just be these two games. And I think we'll have him back for the second leg anyway. And I'm sure for the Bournemouth game. What would your starting 11 be if all our players were fit? So, Hassan, I'm not somebody that thinks that we have a starting 11 and that's it. I think the starting 11, to some extent, depends on the opposition. But you've asked me a fair question. I'm going to try and answer it for you. If everybody was fit, Alisson, Trent, Canade, Verge, Robertson, Endo, Szoboszlai, Jones, Salah. I'd say Darwin, Diaz, because I feel like I can't leave any of the three of them out. But weirdly, I don't really like Darwin through the middle, so I feel weird saying that, and I also feel like I'm doing Diogo dirty by saying that. But I feel like they're the best three to have on the pitch: Diaz, Darwin, and Mo. I don't know how we solve that problem, but yeah, that's pretty much I think what I'd say would be the 11. Now you can make an argument if Thiago's fit, of course. You could put him in there in Endo's position or in one of the other midfield positions, but I think that's probably what I'd do. What will I do for the 11 days? Probably take a day or two off at some point during it, but continue to make content because it's part of my routine as well as I hope other people's routine. So I like to be a person with routine in life. So yeah, I'll keep playing out the content. No problem, Hassan. I always try to get to as many questions as I can, my man. When is Robbo back? Said Harry. So Harry, I think I'm hoping he's back either for or just before the Arsenal game on February 4th. Certainly, mentally, that's where I've penciled him in for. And it kind of fits in with the rough time frame given. But with these things, you always have to take it with a pinch of salt because by the time you step up your rehab and then you get onto the pitch and you start going through more movement, maybe a little small setback, but all going well, I would say, yeah, for that one. And same for Costas probably as well. Good to have a break now and then. I hate having breaks, Doug, because I'm somebody whose whole life is routine. And if I get into a different routine, it's very easy for me to forget my old routine. So, yeah, one day off at a time is usually more than enough for me. And other than that, and I start to get lazy. Would love to see the more appearances on the kickoff. They need a sane Liverpool fan to talk some sense. I'm going to be on the kickoff on February the 18th for the Luton against Man United game. So, yeah, I'll be over there for that one. Am I happy with a narrow win? I wouldn't have been happy before the game with it, but having gone 1-0 down again, yes. Happy to just take a lead. The Craven Cottage, I'd rather be in our position than their position, put it that way. But still a lot of football to be played, and as I said before the game, Fulham are no mugs, so we're going to have to go there and play well. Right, where's more questions? There's a question from Rachel somewhere. Where is it? Rachel's gone away for a holiday. Me? No, unfortunately I'm not. If you are, well in, Rachel, but no holidays for me. Next trip for us is Boston in March. Are the players going abroad? Do you know what? I don't know if they're doing a bit of warm weather training or if Klopp's going to give them a bit of time with their family. I mean, if I was Klopp, I'd give them 4 or 5 days with their family. Give them a little tailored routine to do at home to keep them ticking over. But this certainly feels like an opportunity for them to give them a bit of downtime in what's been a pretty hectic campaign so far. Benjamin said, missed the last 20 minutes. Was so pleased to see we won. Can you let me know what the catalyst was? The changes, Benjamin. Jurgen taking off Gravenberch and Elliott and bringing on Darwin and Gakpo. That was just, we overran them in attack then, and the chances were coming thick and fast. Leno made some good saves, but yeah, that and Curtis Jones taking that shot, and sometimes you need a bit of luck, and we got a bit of luck with the deflection, but we were unlucky not to get the penalty a moment or two beforehand. So felt like on the balance of the game, scoreline probably reflects what we see. The boost this team will get when they move Trent and Robbo and Endo and Bocetić back in the space of 2 weeks will be massive. Yeah, it's definitely going to give us a big boost. And I thought tonight, even with all the players we were missing, you looked at that bench and still some decent options to be able to bring Gakpo and Darwin off the bench. And obviously Alisson was on the bench. Some of the youngsters there as well. So yeah, it's definitely positive. They've got 6 days off. Boom, there you go. Gary knows the answer. So there we are, 6 days off. And look, good choice to give them that time off. So let's have a look at the man of the match poll. See how that's going. We've had nearly 1,500 votes. We asked you to vote for your man of the match. You've differed to Sky a little bit, so it's Conor Bradley leading the way with 43%. Curtis Jones in second place with 26%. Darwin Núñez with 24%. And Diogo with 8%. We'll leave that up for the next 5 or so minutes while we're still streaming. Nassim said, Craig, always love the content, mate, and it's literally a given in my day. I'm going to watch the videos. Thank you. You don't know how much that means to me, Nassim, mate. Honestly, to think that, you know, little old me over here in Ireland is part of somebody's daily routine, it's very heartwarming, my man. Thank you. Uncle Pete, the Milky Bars are on him. 553 quid from a fiver bet. Oh, that's delicious, Pete. Well in. Delighted for you, my man. Well played. Joe Gomez at 6. Kwanzaa at left back, maybe. Conor Bradley at right back. I'd just leave Gomez where he is. I think Gomez is fine where he is. Maybe you're just talking about to get McAllister moved with the way we have things now, but once Trent's back, I'd almost just try Trent there. So if we have Trent back, let's say, for the Arsenal game, Bradley at right back if needs be, put Trent in the 6 and Joe Gomez at left back. But look, we've got options, and it sounds weird to say that with the amount of players that are out injured. Will you record the player ratings later? They're up, Sergu. Player ratings are done, mate. I did. So the new match day routine is finish the game, immediately record a 10 to 12 minute match reaction, then record the player ratings. They both go out, and then I come back for the fan reaction show, which is half an hour after we finish. So yeah, they're up, and I hope you give them a watch when you get a chance, and let me know if you agree or disagree. They're always the hardest video to make because everybody else will have looked at social media or seen some other people's comments or thoughts on the game. Sometimes I haven't processed the game properly, and I'm absolutely open to the fact that I miss things or incidents. Like, for instance, I admitted this again. I didn't know Darwin had 2 assists when I was doing those player ratings. I knew he had 1. So these are things that I wish I had a bit more time occasionally to process. Do you see Thiago in this team? No. I just don't see the point of it. And I mean that in a kind way. We know he's leaving in 6 months. We know we have players that are here for the future. I just don't see the point in not playing the players that are going to be here in a year or 2 years or 3 years for a player that is lovely to watch and can certainly do a job, but doesn't necessarily have a future. And it's also been a frustrating year because he had that operation in May, I think it was, April, May, and here we are like in January, mid-January, and still not back. I mostly agree with your ratings. Find your ratings enjoyable. Thank you. Like, they're our most watched video of all of our match reaction stuff. But, you know, I'm not arrogant enough to think I don't make mistakes occasionally in the player ratings. And I do read the comments and take people's thoughts on board, even though I might not reply to them all. I do look through them and I try to, if people think I have overlooked somebody, I try to make up for it the next game by taking time out to make sure I look at that person properly. Maybe you need a new guy in the team who does the stats, makes your love easier. Well, we've got some stuff. I told you before that we've got stuff under development, and part of that will be to help me with those type of things, mate, and to give you guys more up-to-date information about what's happening in the game, who's doing what. So we do have a set of developers who are building something for us at the minute, but we're still a week or 2 away from it being ready. So I'm excited by it, but you know, these things take time, and I want it to be right, as do the lads, so we're not putting any pressure on it from a time frame. It's the biggest investment we've made, though, other than equipment. This tech is the most we've invested. Thoughts on Kelleher as a long-term second choice keeper? No. Look, I know people think I protect him too much, but I think people have to be rational about what's a second choice keeper as well. So, is he going to be good enough to become the number 1 long-term? No, I don't think he will. I think he needs to go and play. And we're probably going to have to make this decision in the summer where we sell him and then we look to bring somebody else in. So I think it's fair for people to say that he hasn't pushed on as much as they would have hoped, because he did have a really good jump where we were all a lot more confident about it. But whilst I don't think he was at fault for the goal today, I can say that there have been occasions where I felt we could have done more and he could have done more. But we're comparing him to the greatest goalkeeper in the world as well, which is, it's a big ask for anyone. The Facebook Network, how are we, dude? I think Jaros has got to be a special player soon. Well, his loan spell with Pats went well. He's Sparta Prague, if my memory's right. He's gone out on loan for the rest of the season. Pitaluga has come over to Ireland. He's gone on loan to St. Patrick's Athletic, so where Jaros was previously. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what those two young lads can do as well. And the levels are going up now for Jaros. Pats are now to Sparta Prague, and good level he'll be playing at. The assumption is that De Bruyne will come back firing. He suffered a bad injury and not a young man anymore. Look, I think people need to remember that even before that big injury, he was having niggles. And I don't know if this has solved everything with De Bruyne, but he's not going to be ready to fire straight away. It's going to take him a little bit of time. As good as he is, and my God, he's good. But the opportunity's there for us to win the league. And I hope we do it, because I don't want to see those... I've got to choose my words carefully. Those lot lift another league trophy, because it makes me sick looking at it. So if we lost to Arsenal, it would be tough, but at least I'd have respect. So I hope that we can put it to City and win that league title this year. Oh, it's a crowd in Austria he's gone to. Sorry. Again, where was it that he went to then? Where is it he's gone then? And I know he's gone out on loan anyway, sorry. But thank you, Leheris, for the correction. Always happy to be corrected, mate, and given the right information. Is Mo back for the Arsenal game or Chelsea? No, and no. Unfortunately. Trent, I'm hoping, will be back for the Arsenal game on the 4th. But, yeah, no. Mo should be still at the AFCON at that point. Oh, it's Sturm I should know that. Because my wife stayed in Austria and stayed near Sturm as well. So that's on me. Don't they play in the Arnold Schwarzenegger Stadium? Is that Sturm ground? Yeah, sorry, I should have known that. As a Londoner, I'd rather lose the title to City. But I've got no respect for them, mate. I get where you're coming from, of course, but at least I could look at Arsenal and think, all right, a club that I've done well, deserve it. I'm never going to give City that credit. Who would you bring in backup goalkeeper after Kelleher? God, I don't know. I don't know who's available. I'd probably look to bring in an elder statesman, for somebody like in their mid to late 30s, while we see what happens with Jaros and Pitaluga. Yeah, because I think we've got enough talent in the goalkeeping department at youth that somebody a bit more senior, a bit more experience, probably where I'd go. But I don't know who's available. Gravenberg had a disappointing evening, said Jason Bean. Yeah, that seemed to be the consensus from a lot of people in the chat. Look, all I can say is I think Klopp made the right changes today, and I think that the changes have the desired effect, and that's a good thing. My friends, my voice is absolutely on the edge of going, so I'm going to say goodnight to you all. It's been a long day, but a good day, and I want to say thank you again for showing support. Connor Bradley is your Anfield Agenda man of the match with 43% of the vote. Thank you guys for everything. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Video out at 4 o'clock, or live stream at 4 o'clock. Video at 6:30, and we'll see you at 8:30 again for the late night agenda. Thank you for your support. Drop a like on the video before you head off for me if you can. And yeah, thank you to the team as well in the background, to Ben and Connor, and to Mark, our chief moderator, and everybody that helps us out with the streams. Much love. We'll talk to you soon.